Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 not 1 versus 1 commentary. I almost went on autopilot there. We are here with something very special, something I'm extremely excited to cast for. Every now and then there's someone on the channel that says, why don't you cast more 2v2? Pro 2v2 is awesome. And boy oh boy, this really is gonna be it, guys. We have got some of the greatest StarCraft 2 players at the present time, like literally the best of the best, playing in 2v2. And so, without further ado, we have got the team in the bottom right of the map, Polka. It is Clem and Reynor. Clem and Reynor are the young guys on the scene, and now they've decided to form a power duo, walling off their front door there. And taking them on are going to be Serral and MarineLorD. Now, you might notice something's a little bit off as far as these pro players go, because Serral and Reynor have actually elected to each play Protoss, to each off-race, which they are incredibly good at, by the way. As good as some other pro gamers with their non-main race. So Serral and Reynor are gonna be gonna be playing Protoss, off racing. I'm sure they'll be doing some wacky stuff. Whereas the two Terran players, Clem and MarineLorD, are sticking with their main race. I imagine this is because Zerg doesn't really synergize well with the other races. Like, you can't wall off, the creep gets in the way during 2v2 and stuff. And so that's why these players elected to play a different race, I imagine. Which is a little bit interesting, because I'm unsure if it applies to SC2. I know a lot of players do say that Zerg is bad in 2v2, but in Brood War, Zerg is considered to be the best race in 2v2. So much so that players would actually queue up as random, since they banned teams of 2 Zergs, but then they'd queue up as random, hoping to basically get 2 Zergs on the same team. So I wonder why that doesn't apply to SC2, but oh boy, we've got this game really starting to cook off. I'm going to try and catch everything going out on the map, but when there's these 4 players all together, it's a lot of APM, a lot of stuff is going to be going on at once. The thing that catches my eye the most right now, though, is a double Stargate play from Serral. All the while, Reynor, the cheeky, cheesy guy, is actually going for a proxy gate and a Twilight Council. I imagine this can only be one thing: a dark shrine that is gonna be trying to catch this team off guard. Now, of course, there's a risk on that. It's if you go for like a dark shrine or basically like a cloak rush of any kind, there's more than likely gonna be double the detection. For example, Serral might not have detection, but MarineLorD could scan for him against this dark shrine, so we'll see how that's gonna work out. Looks like we've actually got MarineLorD doing a proxy himself, a starport, which he's gonna go for a Hellion drop into one of these players' bases. I guess he doesn't know who's on what side, since neither team has really scouted out yet. But this is gonna work out better for Clem, because, or better for, I guess, Clem-Reynor, because you generally want to Hellion drop the Protoss player, but MarineLorD has proxied on the wrong side. While this is going on, we've actually seen that Clem has gone for his own Hellion play. However, he doesn't have a starport out on the map. The Dark Shrine is almost done for Reynor, so things are going to be heating up here pretty darn soon. The Phoenix play that Serral has gone for has identified the Hellions of Clem. Clem's going to hightail it out of there. And, yeah, now we see MarineLorD's drop's going to be starting off. Of course, Hellions can definitely still get damage done to Terran players. This Cyclone will get a guaranteed kill on one of these Hellions, but of course there's 4, and oh, the Cyclone's actually out of position. So this is looking a little bit painful for Clem and Reynor right now. These Hellions getting on top of this. We'll see if there's DTs that are going to be able to sneak in. However, the proxy pylon has been scouted, so this might be tipping their team off. We see the Hellions are getting towards the natural base. A lot of workers are dying. Currently 9 dead for Reynor, 4 dead for Clem, so a lot of damage done by MarineLorD's drop, a lot of damage. All the while, the DTs have got into MarineLorD's base, forced to scan, but the DTs stayed alive. It looks like there is a DT chasing Serral's probes around, but Serral, with double Stargate, can go for double Oracle, so he'll be able to reveal the DTs no problem. Serral also walled off his main base, so the DT couldn't get in. kill that off. We see a scan and a lift from MarineLorD allows that DT to be killed off. There's another DT at the natural base of MarineLorD, so Serral's gonna have to come back with his detection in order to reveal that DT. Yeah, I mean, Serral does have the oracles now, so I think that using a revelation is a better call than using a scan, which costs quite a bit. Now we see Clem getting into the main base, or getting into the natural base of Serral, trying to get some of his own damage done. However, his Hellions are done for. Committing across the map versus Phoenix, there's no escape. We see Clem has come to try and help out. He's got Cyclones and Mines to try and deal with the Phoenix. However, they are not going to win out that fight. I think the Phoenix and Hellions should win this. Looks like Clem's gonna, or Raynor's actually gonna morph an Archon on the front, seeing as how they aren't countered at all by Phoenix. But oh, Serral activating the Oracles is actually gonna deal with the Archon. It's not every day you see an Oracle kill an Archon. However, they're very vulnerable when they're morphing, so we actually see that die. And yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is just devolving into absolute chaos, but can you guys go ahead and hit that like button before things get too crazy? Let me know by pressing that like button. If there's more Pro 2v2 that you guys want to see, I will make sure to cast it. These Phoenix are getting more pickoffs. Serral has got some good value with these so far. Not many worker kills, but definitely punishing these players with their units. Looks like Reynor has actually made himself another Archon, so there's not a lot that can be done against that Archon when there's just Hellions and Phoenix. So Archons are actually a very good choice from Reynor right now. We see Clem behind this is still making Cyclones. Both teams are on 2 bases for every player. But now we see Serral actually going into Void Rays, which I think is a very, very good decision. When you're on double Stargate, your opponent's making Archons. Yeah, Void Ray is a really good choice. We see Serral, he's also getting up a couple shield batteries to hold the door. Oracles, I'm sure, can activate their pulsar beams too to help out. The Hellions of MarineLorD are doing what they can against these Archons, but with a Void Ray coming forward, the Archons have got to get away, I think. The Hellions are going to pursue them a little bit. Stalkers and Archons do chase that Void Ray back, however. The Phoenix are coming around, but it looks like Reynor actually just selects for a recall, not wanting to lose any of his units. Serral, the Mad Lad, is actually going up to 4 Stargates on 2 bases, which is practically unheard of in a normal match. However, he's also confident enough, or wait, we see it's actually Reynor that's getting up a 3rd base, so Serral might be getting up his own 3rd base soon. But I'm wondering if MarineLorD's going to maybe feed Serral money, or if Serral just says, you know what, I want to make as many air units as I practically can. He doesn't have workers in that extra gas engine, but there's been chaos all over this as we see Widowmines hitting Phoenix again and again, trying to thin out that Phoenix count, but Serral's still keeping it very high. And we are going to be seeing Reynor and Clem are looking to go for a bit of a push. There's counter Widowmines from MarineLorD, as now we see these players, they want to push up. However, there are those mines being pesky. Cyclone locks onto some of the Widowmines, going to be able to kill those off. And now the Archons, the Cyclone's going to push up the ramp. It's a bold attack from this team. We'll see if Clem and Reynor are able to make the attack. Serral relying on that battery to keep his Void Ray alive, and it's doing a very good job. That Void Ray is actually not dying. Yeah, it's just not dying at all. Oracles activate their pulsar beams, going to be cleaning up this army. It looks like as the Archons die, most of the army is dead for Clem too. And this attack has been held off, so Serral able to hold on with that battery. That Void Ray was so clutch. I think it did die at the end there, but boy, oh boy, did it ever get its job done. Both teams are now on 3 bases respectively. I would say there's a definitive lead for MarineLorD and Serral, but that doesn't mean Clem and Reynor are down and out yet, as they both do still have quite a few bases up. Serral's actually the player with the lowest amount of workers right now. So I think that time isn't a bad thing for Clem and Reynor as this game goes on. The Cyclones are going to lock onto those Phoenix. If they get kills on 4 Phoenix, that would actually be quite huge. The scan is going to mean that, yes, 4 Phoenix get picked off. That is a huge, huge blow to Serral, who's still just making Phoenix. Meanwhile, Raynor's out on the map with Archon and some Zealots just trying to pressure Serral's base. Okay, now what's Clem up to? Yeah, just continuing his mech play. What's MarineLorD up to? He's also meching, so mech in 2v2 is a very good strategy, I believe, as it's very defensive. And oh my gosh, the scan totally just lights up this map. That is crazy how bright the scan just made things. Oh my gosh. Or, I don't know if that's like an effect on the map or something. But yeah, anyway. Let's take a look. We see Reynor boldly going for a 4th base. I don't know if this is like a kind of hidden one or... Yeah, no, it's not really, because Clem's also going for a 4th. So these players are really starting to macro up. Very, very passive game this match. Serral is now going to be getting into the carriers, which is a classic team game unit. So good to see that. Meanwhile, there's a Banshee out for MarineLorD. A very, very late Banshee, I'll say. Not often that you see a Banshee 10 minutes into the game just showing up. MarineLorD, however, it does look, or this is actually Clem, pardon me, is getting up a lot of starports. Let's take a look. The Phoenix or Serral still moving around, but I don't think he should make any more. The returns he's going to get on them are just dwindling, although he does actually get into the main base and is going to lift up quite a few probes, gets the Stalker too. Cyclones do come in. They will lock on to one of the Phoenix. Does it go down? Looks like yes. So not getting free damage there. Not completely free anyway. Hellion run by hitting Clem's base. Both teams are still just building up right now. And yeah, we're going to be heading towards like maxed out territory if things stay this passive for this long. We see MarineLorD, or Clem, pardon me, is actually getting up a fusion core. So the bottom right team going heavily into battle cruisers potentially. Meanwhile, his partner Reynor is just sticking on that ground-based composition, it would seem. So Archon's in ground, whereas Serral is going for air. MarineLorD's going for the ground. So these players making some interesting choices, but I do like it. Like the tanks and carriers, it's such a sick combo for Serral and MarineLorD. As siege tanks are incredibly good, their only real weakness is air. If you've got a big wad of siege tanks, a mule was used to open up this location, so now Clem's gonna run on in here with lots of Widow Mines and Cyclones to actually hit one of the bases of MarineLorD, so this could be some nice damage. A lot of the mines have gone off, so it looks like MarineLorD will have to try and get out of there. Widow Mines are gonna hit the Hellions, but the Void Rays and Carriers will end up cleaning this up, so not actually that much damage getting done by Clem, pardon me. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to cast 2v2, guys. It's so hard. Now let's take a look. Battle Cruiser's on the way for Clem, so Battle Cruiser has arrived, or soon to be arriving, as he's getting up more and more of that production. Both players are on pretty good economies, so yeah, could be a lot of Battle Cruisers coming out to counter the carriers of Serral, but Serral does have a lead as far as building carriers goes, compared to Clem, who's making the Battle Cruisers, but he's also made a lot of Cyclones and stuff. Whereas Serral this game has pretty much just gone for air units. His Phoenix are still being a pain. And yeah, let's take a look now. Looks like that Proxy Dark Shrine has been found, but yeah, looks like Reynor actually going in for an attack towards the base of Serral. Is there much in position to respond to this? Not right now, but defense is definitely income. Those Archons may need to be recalled to be saved, and they are. The Zealots are going to stay here, try and get what damage they can done. At least those expensive Archons do escape, so very important that they were able to do so. Now it looks like Clem is going to be pushing up towards the top left, so the classic try and pull your opponent out of position. Buy as much time as possible while you try and build up your battle cruiser count, I suppose, as there is now some battle cruisers out for Clem. Where are they, though? Just sitting back at home. It might actually be wise to teleport those across the map, as I think if Serral and MarineLorD go for a direct attack right now, there's no way Clem and Reynor can hold on, so they really just need to buy as much time as they can. Good Widow Mine hits on the Void Rays, killing all the Void Rays that Serral had. That's really, really nice. Clem is trying to build up that battle cruiser count to challenge the carriers, but it's not going to be easy if these just come across the map. I mean, right now, there's only 2 battle cruisers out against 10 carriers. There's going to be 3 more BCs popping out in a little bit, but still, this is a scary, scary army. Meanwhile, MarineLorD is there on the front. The battle cruisers are going to teleport in to try and clean up all the tanks. If the tanks get cleaned up, maybe the carriers can be dealt with. We actually see one or two of the tanks got focused down there, but Yamato Cannon is not yet done for Clem, so the battle cruiser is not able to get those guaranteed pickoffs. One of the BCs has gone down as the carriers push forward too. Yamato Cannon is going to pick off one of the carriers, however, there's a lot more, and that's part of the problem. Meanwhile, there's the lethal tank shield underneath it. The interceptors are being challenged by the stalkers, the mines, the archons, but this push is still looking pretty darn scary by Serral, by MarineLorD. A Nexus goes down. There's just units rallying across the map for the red and purple team. The battle cruisers are very tanky against the interceptors, so they're actually doing all right for themselves, being repaired by the SCVs. But it's one of those situations. You're holding on, but are you really gonna live much longer? That's the question for this team. We do see the desperate Terran battle cruiser warp to deal with this attack on the left side, as this base has been constantly harassed for Clem. So that's actually been very, very painful for him. The BCs teleport out. This emboldens Serral to go forward. The mines have been hitting the interceptors, no doubt. So they've been doing all right for themselves, but this is still a very, very scary situation for this team. Battle cruiser going to be going for Yamato cannon, going to hit a carrier, but of course it's not going to kill it. You need 2 to kill a carrier. More mines are going to burrow, hit the interceptors, but this is just such a Protoss army. Void Ray eats the Yamato cannon, but they don't get one shot anymore. Stalkers aren't going to do much against this, and it looks like Serral and MarineLorD are going to take the match. Wow, what a game between these players. This has been an awesome Pro 2v2, I gotta say. GG gets called. Yeah, Reynor is out of there, and GG is called as Serral, or as Clem heads on out too, and Serral and MarineLorD take it. Yeah, really good play by those players. I think the unit composition from Serral was kind of key there. It's not easy to stay alive and just build up to air units, but if you do that, it is very strong. And then, of course, MarineLorD, I think he played a very complementary style. And Reynor's style, maybe of just playing the ground Protoss, I don't think that's the best for 2v2. Meanwhile, Clem's composition was kind of like a half measures, like not going all air, building a lot of ground units and stuff. Maybe not the best choice. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, casting this 2v2 was awesome. If you enjoy this match, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more StarCraft 2. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. We talk pro Starcraft, pro bots, Alpha Star, that kind of stuff. Consider becoming a member if you do want to support the channel. It goes a long way. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, you thought we were done, did you? Turns out there's more Pro 2v2. So I'll just skip the outro at the end of that video. But yeah, I thought that maybe I'd split this up into 2 videos, but no. I'm just gonna cast it all now. I want to see more of this Pro 2v2, which totally was awesome, by the way. And yeah, so same teams, different map, Emerald City. Those of you that play 2v2 on the StarCraft ladder know that the pool is generally the same throughout. It's very rare they swap out many of the maps because, of course, there's not as much of a need, really, for 2v2. It is good to have things changed up, though, so Blizzard changing up map isn't a bad thing, but I do recognize Emerald City from when I've played 2v2. Okay, so we'll see what sort of play is going to go down this game. I mean, in the last game, it was a very, very late game play. On this map, I see getting up 2 bases is relatively easy. Getting up your 3rd might be a bit more tricky. To like a timing attack or something like that. And yeah, let's see. I mean, generally when there's uncertainty, it's better to play like more aggressive yourself, or safer in a sense. So, oh, there we go. Reynor dropping the GG spray. Or was that Clem? No, that was Reynor. You can tell because his spray on his probe is on cooldown. And yeah, it generally is better in sort of unknown modes of StarCraft to play more safe, which in a way is also more aggressive too. So naturally we see a double gas opening from the Protoss player, nothing like a crazy 1-gate expand. Even the Terran player going for a factory before command center. As far as MarineLorD is concerned, as far as Clem is concerned, he says, I'll be safe, and just goes for a Reaper expand. And this team actually goes for all the expands, as Reynor does go for the less safe option too with a gateway expand. And so yeah, now these players' builds are going to face off. MarineLorD and Serral are going to be saying, wait a second, they're being much more greedy than we are. Does that mean we should attack? Who knows? If we heard the players' comms, it might be something like that, or they might have some plan ahead of times. We do take a look though. MarineLorD is going for that classic Terran build at the minute. Well, not really classic. It's actually pretty much the new build. It's the hot build. It's not been around a long time, but it is that fast Hellion opening, but still gets you a reasonably timed command center. And once again, we see Serral going for the double Stargate play, which is kind of cool. Now, the thing is, Raynor's going for his own Stargate. So it's going to be one Stargate against two. And those of you that that know how Phoenix works know that generally the player who builds more Stargates is going to have a lot more success, because you can't just go for like one base Phoenix or something like that, or one gate Phoenix. So that was actually going to be my question. I bet Raynor's going to go for an Oracle or something. As of course an Oracle is, but then he actually changes his mind and goes for a Phoenix. I think I prefer the choice for an Oracle, as of course, if Serral's making 2-gate Phoenix and Raynor's just making 1-gate Phoenix, it will just be like an auto die for Raynor. It's pretty much just like, it's like a nuclear arms race. It's like, why don't we just stop? Why don't we just stop making nukes? It's like, because you're building nukes. And yeah, basically how that goes. So yeah, we'll see what Raynor is able to do. I mean, he does have the faster base up compared to Serral, but I do like how Serral's approaching this. We do see a second Stargate go up for Raynor, which is very important. We need to see him get up his extra gases at his natural. That's a very important part of Phoenix versus Phoenix. The Phoenix of Serral, I believe they actually did just kill off the one Phoenix of Raynor, so that's been revealed. Serral saturating his gases is so important. And now Raynor's like, oh man, it's on. Phoenix versus Phoenix, it is on. And so Raynor's probably going to have to sit back, maybe rely on MarineLorD's, or rely on Clem's defense a little bit, while he waits for his Phoenix count to sort of even up a little bit. Adepts get lifted up by the Phoenix, that's no good. So they're not going to be there to help deal with these Hellions. However, the Marines and Cyclone do come forward for Clem, are going to push that away. Very important. While Raynor powers up, building his Phoenix count. Interestingly enough, we see Serral getting up +1 attack for his Phoenix. He's now got up a 3rd Stargate, which I really like. He is doing a good job of building up his Phoenix count, even being out on the map, which is a little bit risky against another Phoenix player. But still getting a couple little pickoffs. And so I really do like the position of what Serral's going for. I haven't really talked too much about what MarineLorD's going for, and that's because MarineLorD's basically just been making Hellions. He's now just getting up an extra factory. And yeah, literally all MarineLorD has been doing is making Hellions, so this makes me wonder, is MarineLorD feeding gas to, is MarineLorD feeding gas to Serral? He must be. He absolutely must be feeding some of his gas to Serral this game. So Serral can just make a ton of Phoenix. Yeah, that's got to be my only logical conclusion here, because Serral is making a lot of units. If we pay attention to MarineLorD's gas, we'll see if it dips at all. He is now going to start making things that require gas, but like that's the first thing he's really made, because he has been going for that for just Hellions, which don't require any gas. Meanwhile, the Phoenix of Serral are still out on the map. He's very confident. All the while, Clem is making lots of Cyclones, realizing that he needs some anti-air. Raynor's getting up an extra Stargate. So this really is just Phoenix versus Phoenix, while there's 2 Terrans kind of doing their own thing. I am curious. I don't know for certain if MarineLorD actually sent any gas to Serral, but maybe he did. It's tough to say. Anyway, Serral does have up that Fleet Beacon too. He's got the +1 attack. He's getting that Anion Pulse Crystals, which are going to make his Phoenix much better. And so I think he really is winning that Phoenix versus Phoenix fight. Of course, the Cyclones can definitely change that up. The Mass Hellions of MarineLorD are very interesting. He's getting up Blue Flame. He's now making a Siege Tank. Looks like a 3rd base is on the way now for MarineLorD, for Serral. All the while, there is a 3rd base floating over for Clem, and a 3rd base almost done for Raynor. So, relatively close timing for that. We see Serral moving around with his Phoenix still. The Hellions of MarineLorD are going to move forward to engage the Marines. One shot really cuts them up, but they're also going to engage this entire army. The Cyclone's getting picked up too. The Phoenix do come in for Raynor, but he realizes, uh-oh, Serral's got the Phoenix range upgrade, so my Phoenix just can't kite as well as his can. And so this looks like it's going very well for Serral and MarineLorD, as the Hellions really help buffer there. Looks like they're going to try and take this further, as that Widowmine is going to be detonated on the Hellions. And now the Phoenix count for Serral is just going to surge forward. It's 19-6. That is not good odds at all. The Cyclone can just be lifted up. Widowmine goes off, but Serral's so confident moving forward, kills off all the Phoenix of Reynor. He can now just lift up whatever trickles out. The Widowmines really are their only saving grace, but Serral picking those up as they pop out. Yeah, this is bad news bears here. For Clem, for Reynor, and yeah, this is just looking like Reynor would be abusing the system. Oh man, I love that. This 2v2 is awesome, but yeah, Serral and MarineLorD do take it 2-0, guys. It was fun casting this. If any more Pro 2v2 comes up, I'll probably try and cast it. The Phoenix are literally just killing everything. It's a lot of work to lift up all the SCVs, and you can't actually kill your opponent's buildings, so you do need something else to help win the game. But Reynor right now is like, I'll make a few more Phoenix, but it doesn't really matter. GG gets called. MarineLorD Serral take the 2-0, proving to be the better team, it would appear. Really good choice by Serral, just going for the air units there. MarineLorD, I think he definitely was supporting there a little bit. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I already did the outro. I'll see you next time.